I had many questions while I was at church, and eventually I was actually expelled from church. One day the priest told my father never to bring me back, because I asked another question, and I was constantly asking questions, because that's what my father said we should do. And this question this day was, he was saying that if people didn't accept Christ into their heart and Jesus into their lives, then you would all go into like hell. You know, you wouldn't get to the paradise worlds, you wouldn't go to heaven. So I put my hand up and he looked at me again as if, oh God, here she goes again. And I said, I just want to know that, are you telling me that if the children in Africa, sweet innocent children, never hear about Jesus, that they will go to hell? It didn't make sense. And it was like, that's enough. And then later said to my father, she's too disruptive, please don't bring her back. But I had this yearning, you know, ask and you'll receive, and I believed that. And I asked the universe, I want to have the experiences that Jesus is talking about, not from an ego reason, just because it just felt right. You know, there's an inner hunger. And coming from a family of a lot of love, then you don't have to look for parental family love. You've already got that. You move into the next level and start to be aware of the global game and higher levels. So and as some of you know, when I was then 16, I was lucky to meet an Indian guru who was traveling with his Mahatmas in Australia. And while he spoke Sanskrit and I didn't understand the words in the satsang, I could feel the energy, and my inner being went, yes, that's what I want. Whatever you've got, I want it. Because I could feel, you know, this pure energy. You can feel it coming from someone who is deep in the experience of the God force. So I began meditating, and the very first day that I began to meditate, my whole head here, my third eye, just exploded. So much light. The most incredible cosmic light show. It was like, whoa, I can see light, I can see light. It was funny because I was meditating under a blanket and my parents were there. We were in a car. They were driving me back home. I'd said to them at 16, I've got to have this initiation, and if you don't take me to where it is, I'm going to hitchhike. They said, that's okay, we'll take you. They waited all day, and when the initiation was done, we were driving back in the car, and I was sitting under the blanket meditating, and they were thinking, oh my God, what is she doing? And when the light came, I just went, oh, I can see light, I can see light, I can see light. And my mother turned around and looked at me, and my father went, that's nice, dear. And with the light came so much love, just wave after wave after wave of so much love. And in that moment, I became completely addicted to love, to divine love. Because I realized then I wasn't my mind, I wasn't my body, I wasn't my emotions, my personality, that there was this force inside of me that I'd been looking for my whole life. And suddenly it was like, whoa, flowing within me. Now you know what it's like when someone gives you this gift, these beautiful tools of meditation. You become so thankful. So then, of course, I fell in love with my guru for a while. And so appreciative, and I kept saying to my father, oh Father, you have to come to my guru, you have to learn this meditation. I was so joyous. And my beautiful wise father, he looked at me and he said, one day, my darling daughter, dear, you will realize what I have come to know. My master is within me. What a beautiful thing to say. So my father was right. The guru was right. As you apply these practices of service, satsang, meditation, and other things we'll share with you today, you do discover the guru within you. Your intuitive voice becomes louder and louder and louder. And when you listen to it, it guides you. And as you apply its guidance, your life comes into a life that is filled with grace. And people have talked here about hard work, the hard work we have to do. No, we don't. We just need to be the gods that we are and let the energy flow through us, and it will bring to us everything that we need in perfect time. There is a way that is hard work, and there is a way that is just being in the field of grace and letting grace support you. I would like that everybody comes into a state of consciousness where the universe literally rolls in ecstasy at your feet, so pleased to have you existing in the web of life. So when the Guru said to me, "You can never capture grace," I didn't like that. Because I'd already had experiences of grace, and I thought, wow, can you live your life in that flow all the time? And so my question then to the universal field is, what do I need to do to constantly live my life in this current of grace? Because while you cannot capture grace, there are things that you can do that will put you into the current where grace is constantly flowing. You can match frequencies with the energy of grace so that your whole being is an expression of grace in motion. Yes? That's the focus. So many stories here. As Newton was saying, I applied the techniques of meditation, and for me, I spent 5 years really battling with my monkey mind. How many of you find the mind can shut up just like that? Sometimes, I'd sit in meditation and the gurus had said, you have to go to the place of no mind. And I was always battling my mind, going, you are not in no mind, you're thinking, just always. But now and then a bit of magic would happen and you'd sit down to meditate at maybe 11 o'clock and you just go somewhere you don't know because you're in the space of no mind, and suddenly you're back and it's 12 o'clock and you go, where was I? I don't know, my mind wasn't there because I was in no mind, but boy do I feel good. Yeah? But it didn't happen all the time. In the meantime, the mind chatter, monkey mind. And I realized for me, as the inner one began to guide me, that we need to use the mind as a friend, to have no part of us in conflict, no part of us in struggle, to honor and love every part of us, but to understand what every part of us does and to give it its right job. So one of the first things with living on prana is introducing the body to the